And this is Bedtime Stories, Grown-Up Edition, Feast or Famine, Part 14. When we left off, Q did his big one in New York City at Angela's interview and photo shoot with Essence magazine. The couple is now engaged, and Angela had an experience that she won't soon forget. If you watched the bonus episode, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Angela, Q, and Stephanie managed to make their flight back to Dallas, and when they arrived at the estate, Angela and Q both were surprised with an engagement party. The gang's all there, the children are ecstatic, and Michael even seems to have had a change of heart. Apparently, both the Queen Mother and Miss Brenda have been having conversations with him, and he's beginning to see Angela as an ally and not an enemy of his mother's memory. After the festivities have ended, Angela, Mom Brenda, and Marcia are sitting down at the dining room table talking. Mom Brenda hands Angela the mail that's arrived over the last 2 days. She shuffles through it, and then she reaches an envelope that's about the size of a card. When she opens the envelope, she finds a stack of 5x7 photos inside. The first photo is a man from the waist down, undressed, and his member is in the hands of a woman. The second photo is what appears to be that same man's member in the mouth of a woman wearing bright red lipstick. Her hands are wrapped around him, and she has some pretty colorful nails. The remaining photos are this man and woman in various positions. Angela is confused. She has no idea who the man or the woman are in the photos. When Miss Brenda tries to bend over to look at the photos, Angela quickly covers them up. And then when she removes her hand, she sees it. Next to the woman's gaudy nails on the man's washboard abs is a birthmark. Q's birthmark. Q is sitting in his office in his man cave. When the door to the office flies open, he turns around thinking one of the children is breaking his golden rule. Always knock and wait for permission before entering. He's surprised to see a pissed off Angela standing there instead. Q says, "Love, what's going on?" Angela says, "Don't love me. Who is she, Q?" Q says, "Who is who? And lower your voice." Angela said, "Don't tell me to lower my damn voice. Not after I received these in the mail." So we're in New York, you whining and dining and eating the box, but all along, you've been sleeping with somebody else? So is that the real reason why you can wait until the marriage to go all the way? Q says, "I have no idea what you're talking about. Let me see the pictures." Angela throws the pictures in Q's face, then she just bursts out crying. She turns around, runs back up the stairs, out of the house, to her car, and peels off. Pew! As Q picks up the photos, he's looking at them, and he knows full well whose member it is in the picture, but he has no idea who the woman is, when the photos were taken, why they were taken, where they were taken, who took them, or why anybody would send them to Angela. He remembers his commitment to chase her if she ever runs, but this time, he can't. The kids are there, and he can't leave them unsupervised. He calls Angela on the phone, and she doesn't answer. Thankfully, though, he isn't blocked. A few hours later, he finally calls Miss Brenda. Miss Brenda answers, "Hey, baby, what's going on?" Q asks, "Have you seen Angela?" Miss Brenda says, "Yeah, baby, she's home." "What's going on?" Q says, "I wouldn't even know where to start. Can you put her on the phone?" Miss Brenda says, "No, baby, she's not ready to talk. You're going to have to give her some time." By the time that Q had talked to Miss Brenda, he had called everybody else under the sun, and no one had seen or heard from Angela. So at this point, he was just glad to know that she was home and she was safe. But now, he needed to figure out what the hell was going on. He called LJ. Thankfully, the Johnson family lives in the same neighborhood as Q, so it didn't take long for LJ to show up on Q's front steps. Q told LJ what happened, and when he tried to show him the picture, LJ said, "Bro, I don't want to see a picture of your damn Johnson." Q said, "Well, how else are you going to help me figure out who this person is, when these pictures were taken, and where?" LJ said, If you don't know, how am I supposed to know? Q said, we are private investigators. Between the two of us, we should be able to figure it out. LJ said, I don't mean no harm, but I think we need to get a woman over here. Q interrupted him and said, what? I don't need any other women to see these pictures. LJ said, a woman will analyze the photos and help us figure out who the woman is. You said her face isn't in any of the photos, right? Q said, right. Only her hands, her body, and her lips. LJ said, man, I hope it was worth it. Q said, I don't know, because this never happened. LJ said, give me one of the pictures where I can't see your Johnson in it. Q handed him a photo, and LJ said, oh, it happened, bro. But I'm concerned that you don't know when, where, and with whom. Have you been drinking, man? Q said, man, I'm dry. I haven't had a drink in over 6-7 years. It's been so long, I've actually stopped counting. LJ said, well, I still say we need to get a woman over here, because a woman's going to look at those pictures and she's going to see things that we don't see. And she's going to probably be able to tell us who that is if it's somebody in the circle. In the meantime, you need to think about all of the women you know who you've been in contact with recently. Then Q asked, what woman can I even show these pictures and ask for an objective opinion? Like, this is highly inappropriate. LJ said, the one that you got your game from. The next day, the woman that the PI has been following, who won't give Donovan a DNA test, is spotted at her OB with her man. When Veronica is alerted, she hightails it over to the doctor's office. Big V ain't playing no games. She waited outside of that doctor's appointment for 45 minutes until finally she spotted the woman and her man coming out. Veronica waddled over and said, Destiny, is that you, girl? The woman said, yeah, I know you. Veronica said, girl, stop. It's me, Nikki, Donovan's girlfriend. He told me that he ran into you and that you was expecting to. That is so crazy. Girl, we expecting our first baby in less than 18 weeks. When are you due? The girl initially looked confused, but then the light bulb came on, and she was looking like a deer caught in headlights. She was nervous as hell. She looked at her man and said, Bae, can you pull the car around? My back is hurting. Her man went and got the car, and while he was gone, Destiny said, look, I don't want no beef. Veronica said, well, that's all up to you, because my focus is on getting answers. Now, when your man comes back, he can find out that he may or may not be that baby's father, or you can play it easy. It's all up to you. Destiny was like, listen, I don't want no problems. My man cannot find out. I just want this to go away, and I want you and Donovan to leave me the hell alone. Veronica said, believe me, we want to leave you the hell alone. But without a paternity test, we're not going anywhere. The girl said, how the hell am I going to do a paternity test without my man knowing? Veronica said, oh, that's easy. Veronica handed the girl Marsha's card and said, she'll be expecting a call from you today, and she'll make room in her schedule for you before the week is out. The girl said, well, what if I can't get there before the week is out? And at that moment, her man pulled up. Veronica said, girl, I gotta get over there by Macy's so I can pick up a few more things for my baby. I heard y'all was having a sale. You still work there, right? When she said yes, Veronica said, well, I'll come by and see you so we can chop it up some more. Does your mother still live over there off of Glendale? And when Destiny said yes, Veronica said, I thought so. I was driving by there earlier, and I thought I saw her getting in a red Mazda. Baby, Destiny was shook. I told y'all Big V ain't come to play. Destiny started walking to the car while sliding Marsha's business card on her purse. She looked over her shoulder and said, well, I got your number now, so I promise you will hear from me before the week is out. Take care, Nikki. Veronica said, okay, girl, I look forward to talking with you again very soon. And as the car rolled off, Veronica was like, Don't play with me. I'm not for play play. On Wednesday, Angela and her family attend Bible study at the Salvation Center of Dallas. And Q shows up. Angela absolutely refuses to talk to him or even sit anywhere near him. And when service is over and he approaches, she says, I don't have time for this. I have a meeting. Then she heads to her office to have a meeting with Deacon Davis to discuss some things that need to be done for the singles conference. Towards the end of the meeting, Deacon Davis says, So, I see and hear that you're engaged. Angela says, Yes, I am. Angela hasn't told a soul about what's been going on with her and Q in these photos. And surprisingly, none of the usual players have questioned her or said anything to her about the situation. Not the Queen Mother, not Mom Brenda, not Regina or LJ. She hasn't taken the engagement ring off, not because she's embarrassed or trying to keep this all a secret, but because something has been nagging her in her spirit. And she can't even look at the pictures to see if she can figure out what it is because she threw them at Q when she went to his house before she drove off. Then Deacon Davis says, Well, I certainly hope that you're going to get a prenup because a woman like you with all of those assets marrying a man like Q. And before he could finish that statement, Angela's office door flies open. Baby, Q has been waiting in the hallway to talk with Angela, and he saw Deacon Davis go inside and decided to do a little snooping of his own. And he is 7:30 hot. Q says, Let me tell you something, Playboy. I've had about enough of you. I see how you look at my woman. I know all about the little snide, snarky remarks that you be making to her. And I wasn't born yesterday. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how much of the gospel you preach. I don't care who you friends with. If I ever have to tell you again to fall back, I will not be telling you with words. At that moment, Pastor Corey rushed in, grabbed Q, and said, Come here, man. Let me talk to you for a minute. Deacon Davis tried to get tough, talking about, You threatening me? Q saying over Pastor Corey's shoulders, I ain't never threatened a man in my life. My word is born. You better ask about me, nigga. Angela's standing there like, oh my goodness, calm down. Everybody just calm down. Pastor Corey doesn't have the physical strength to actually move Q, so he's using all of his powers of persuasion to convince him to peacefully exit the property. When he does, he comes back and tells Deacon Davis, you better be careful. That's not the kind of man who you want to test. Deacon Davis says, I'll put holes in that man's body so big they won't be able to sew them back together. Then Angela says, then you better make sure your family knows what color suit you want to be buried in. Now, she upset with Q, but she don't play about him.